What's up, guys? It's Sight After Dark out of Brooklyn, New York. I'm Sifa Graffiti.
I'm Dan Berg.
So today we're doing Q&A from our Patreon. We've got a Patreon, guys. Head on over, subscribe for as little as $1 a month. We react to any song that you suggest. So we're answering questions from the patrons, and let's set it off. Let's do it.
Yeah, really just wanted to say, before we even get into it, just really appreciate all of you. It's really funny when you guys thank us for doing the reactions that you suggest, and it's like, I don't even know if you guys understand. It's like, you're literally, you might not think about it like this, but like every dollar that you're giving us is literally helping us like live our dream. Like, we're getting paid to listen to music. Like, it's fucking amazing. So we should be thanking you a lot more than you should be thanking us. So we just want to say that, and that's a big reason why we wanted to do this, so you guys could, you know, find out more about us, and, you know, we can be online friends, you know what I mean? So we're gonna get into it. The first questions, few of them are from William Gilbert. So he started off, hey you guys, where are you guys from?
Well, I'm from New York. I'm pretty much from New York, Brooklyn, and also Rockland County. If we're talking about background, my mom's South American and my father's African. And but yeah, pretty much New York and Rockland County, which is a suburb of New York City.
Yeah, I'm from Clearwater, Florida. Born and raised. I lived in Florida until 2018. When my old band in Florida broke up, my sister already lived in Brooklyn. She was just like, hey, you want to like come crash on my couch and just like figure out your life? And I was like, okay. So then I did that, and then we met at an open mic, and that's how Sight After Dark started. Let's see, what else? Who are some of your musical influences?
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot.
That's huge. I mean, that's huge. We were joking before, and I was like, somebody asked Tom Petty that question, and he was like, the radio. And that was a great answer for him, and I feel like I'm gonna say that too, but I mean, pretty much anything rock and roll, soul, blues, rap. I go all the way back, so I have so many influences. It's just, I feel like too many to name.
Yeah, I mean, everything from like Miles Davis to Zeppelin to, guys, if you guys don't know, some of our patrons and viewers are a little older. If you guys don't know about an artist named Kid Cudi, you should totally look him up, because he's my favorite artist ever, and he's the reason that I make music. You should listen to his first album. It looks like this. I'm gonna put it here. But it's a concept album, so you gotta listen to it front to back in order. So I just wanted to say that. But Kid Cudi is my biggest influence, probably musically. Besides that, like Hendrix, like Jimmy Page, I guess, as far as like guitarists and stuff.
Yeah.
But all the big ones, you know.
Yeah, all the big people.
There's just so many.
Yeah, there's just so many. Like I love the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Like I love Karen O from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. But I'll rock with anybody. Like, I mean, I follow Ronnie Spector. Like, I mean, there's so many people to mention.
Yeah, like if the music's good, we like it. And if we listen to it, it probably has self-consciously influenced our music in some way.
Yeah. And there's so many people out there, and there's so many few that I dislike. I feel like if you listen to our music, I feel like you can be like, oh, she must like this person, that person. I feel like if you think about it, then it's probably true. Yeah,
so short answer, our influences are whoever you think our influences are.
Basically.
Next question. Are you guys just bandmates or more than that?
We are the best of friends. We are cellmates. We were in jail together. And
the whole city was in jail together.
No, we're bandmates, label mates, and we just met a couple years ago. So we like the band.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to actually get kind of annoyed when people ask me this, because I think it's crazy that in like today's modern age, everyone tries to be so woke and shit.
Yeah.
It's like so, like people can't like wrap their head around like a grown man and a grown woman just being like friends. But then like as time goes on, I've realized a few things about it that I'm like, oh, it is what it is. If we were a 3-person band, I don't think anybody would ask us that ever.
Right.
And then the other thing I noticed is that the only people that ever ask that are men. because men see everything through sex-tinted glasses. so people just like think that, I guess. Like, whereas women like work with men that they are not like romantically involved with all the time. So I feel like women don't even like think about that.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, you meet different people in your life for different reasons. You have connections with different people. And, you know, we obviously have a connection, and it's, you know, like artistic and like, you know, kind of like a business sense. And it's just not like a romantic at all. And that's just the way that it is. I stumbled on y'all, and I'm glad that I did. Please keep doing the damn thing. And you always show love to my city. Hashtag NYC. I've been in Arizona for 17 years, but I still love my city. Wishing you all the success. Thanks, William.
Thanks, William.
I don't know what you're doing over there in Arizona, but I hope you're doing well. It's fucking hot out there. Why don't you come home, bro? But tell us what borough you're from, though. I'm actually curious.
Yeah, me too.
You don't have to give us a neighborhood, but just the borough will suffice. So those were the questions from William. Shout out to William. Next, we have our good friend Garth Hill. Garth came in with a few questions as well. He said, I know there's a short About Me page about the band on your website. Is there anything you'd like to add about your background and where you came from or who you are as individuals?
When I'm reading, I always look like either I'm bored or I just don't want to deal with it. I'm sorry for the face I'm making right now. I'm actually just reading. Okay. Who are we as individuals? I feel like how am I gonna answer this really nice and short and sweet? Well, I'm a dancer and a choreographer, and I like to sing as well, and I like to try my hands at instruments, and so sometimes I'll play the guitar and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm an artist all the way around. Like, that's all I ever wanted to do. I went to school for dance, and then I just ended up like writing little poems, and it just started singing, and then I just wanted to be a singer after that. My dad was a singer. Maybe that's where I get some of it. I have no idea, but pretty much I feel like I've answered the question.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't have all those other things. I pretty much just got music. I'm not really good at anything else. so I don't know. That's pretty much it. I've been playing guitar since I was like 11, and then yeah, that's like, it's really like, music is really the only thing I give a shit about. Everything else is just like stuff that I have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm pretty one-dimensional as a person.
Yeah. Who's the biggest influence on your musical style? Okay.
Oh, wait. He said, okay, you told me, for example, Sifa does the art for your shirts and promos, for example, or maybe you'd like to go into who you feel are your biggest influences on your musical style.
Okay, these people I really liked and felt like they're like in me in a way. So if I had to pick three people, I pick Karen O again. I pick Mary J. Blige because I would say like that's like a combination. And then I would pick Jimmy Page just for style and for like, how the music, just like when I first heard Led Zeppelin, like I was
dragon suits are sick.
They are, and I kind of got a female version, the top, I kind of got one. So just for style, for influence, for everything, yeah, those three people I would say is me.
I like the idea of the three. That's good. It keeps it like, okay. So like Garth mentioned, Sifa does do all of our art. Something I think is really cool about us that we always try to do is we pretty much everything that we do is just us. Like, we do all the editing for the videos, we produce the music that we make, we write the music that we make. The only thing that you've ever seen from us that's not just from us is like our music videos, because we have a friend, Louise, who's a fantastic videographer that we use for our videos, because she just is way better at that than we would have ever been. But besides that, I really like the fact that we're able to do that. Sifa drew the shirts. I don't have a shirt on right now. For like one time in my life, I'm not wearing a Side After Dark shirt. But Sifa does all the artwork, and it's all awesome. For me, number one influence chronologically would be probably The Doors, because they were the first band that I ever was like a fan of. Like, when I was like a kid, like, I didn't really give a shit about music because it was just like always background stuff to me. Like, I just didn't really like notice it up until I was like 11, and then one day I saw Apocalypse Now on cable, and it starts off with like the helicopters, and it's like, this is the end,
Yeah.
and then it blows up. And I was like 11, I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, this is crazy. And I was like, yo, Dad, what is this music? He was like, that's called The Doors. I was like, oh, wow. So then I went home on LimeWire, and I just downloaded all the Doors. I should have said LimeWire. I downloaded it all legally. I downloaded as much Doors legally as I possibly could, and then just spread out from there. That's literally how my musical journey has started. Then a few years after that, Kid Cudi came out. He's a huge influence on my life. He made me feel like I could actually like do music, right? So then that was a big deal. And then now, like modern day, I would say Tame Impala was probably a huge influence, because they just, if you guys don't know Tame Impala, he's basically like a modern day Todd Rundgren, I guess. It's like one guy named Kevin Parker that writes, produces, does all the performances, everything of this music. And it's like, it crosses over so many styles that it's like a big influence on me now to think of like, oh, like how can I merge things? You know what I mean?
Right,
and like
right.
make it sound really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess that would be my big three. Follow up to musical influences. Which instruments do you play, and what's your history with those instruments?
Okay. All right. Well, I play the guitar. I play electric guitar. I have 2 electrics and 1 acoustic. I've been playing them off and on for a good amount of years, but I haven't gotten really serious to really like go crazy. I usually before I met Dan, I used to write like my own songs, so they would have like chord strums and certain like tablature and stuff like that I wrote, like, you know, so I would know them and I would know how to play those songs really fast. So I wasn't good at just being able to just get up in front of anybody and just start playing. I only knew a few chords and stuff. So, that's my favorite instrument, and that's the instrument I know. When I was like 7, I started learning on the piano, but then they kicked me out because I was dancing around too much, so they put me in dance. So yeah, I know the C major scale, and we like to make music, so we'll pull out a keyboard and stuff like that, and we'll mess around with them until we find a good sound. But I'm definitely not a virtuoso.
Yeah, it's weird. So I played most of the instruments on our first album, but I feel like the only instrument I really play is guitar.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been playing guitar since I was 11. But everything else, like, even like drums too, I play drums a little bit, but it's just like, okay, like it's basically like ear.
Yeah.
So it's like if there was a drum kit, I could like play like a simple beat, or if there was a keyboard around, I could just mess around and figure something out that sounds good. But it's like, I don't really have any training with those at all. So I don't even know if I would say that I play them, but I have played them. So I don't know, take with that what you want. I don't know if that means anything. What's your history with those instruments? Classically trained, punk rock, street trained, or anything in between?
I went to, what's the name of that place? New York Guitar School. I went there for like 3 lessons. And then after that, I was just teaching myself, like reading books and stuff like that. And like I said, like I was taught the C major scale, so I knew how to kind of read music and where the notes should go and stuff. So I have a little bit of an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing. I really went to those lessons so I could know how to name different parts of a guitar, how I'm supposed to hold it, like, you know what I mean? So I went pretty much for that. And then after that, I was just like, I don't need to pay for this.
That's so funny, because we basically did the same thing, but I did it unintentionally.
Really?
Because, all right, so check this out, people. This is gonna sound crazy, but this is really what happened. So, like I said, I've been playing guitar since I was like 11. There was just like a guitar my dad had. I just picked it up, and I was like, I want to learn how to play AC/DC. You know what I mean? So I was just like messing around by myself for like a month or 2, and they were like, hey, you want lessons? I was like, okay. So I started getting lessons from this guy for like 2 years. And then one day he was supposed to come over and do a lesson, and he just never showed up. And I never heard from him again.
That's a musician.
Like, we called him, we emailed him, nothing. Never heard from him again.
Wow.
I don't know what the hell happened to that guy.
That could be scary. Yeah.
Like, some real shit might have went down, honestly.
Yeah.
all I know is I never heard from him again, but at that point I'd already been playing for like a year and a half, 2 years. I had learned like enough from him to know what like the basics are.
Yeah.
So that after he like disappeared, I just kind of learned the rest myself.
Yeah.
So he gave me kind of like the foundation or whatever, but then after that I was like, well, I have this, I'm just gonna see whatever the hell sounds good. And kind of went from there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, so I guess that's somewhere in between classically trained and punk rock street trained.
Yeah.
But I can't read music at all, so maybe not classically. Any stories about specific instruments? Like, do you have names for your guitars, or did you ever get anyone to sign your keyboard, etc.?
Yeah, I got names for my guitar. They're both purchased at Guitar Center. Nothing special in terms of like who gave them to me, but the Sunburst one that I played, the Les Paul, the Epiphone, that one I called it Dragon Fang, and I named it Dragon Fang because of like Norse folklore. If I know a lot of you are familiar with, so you know.
Sorry.
So like, you know, one of the parts of like Thor's Brigade, like one of the lady, her name is like, you can either, depending on what book you read, it's either SIF or SIFA. So we have like the same name, and I'm not Norwegian by any. I'm only mixed with like
You're not?
Portuguese. Like that's the only European I'm mixed with, and that's pretty dark. So when I first found that out, just reading about Thor, I was like, whoa, her name is Sifa. And then it was like, I really go into like different mythological books and all types of other religious books and stuff. But they said that like Odin hung himself on the tree on the day of my birthday. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to name my guitar Dragon Fang. Because,
on the tree?
Yeah.
And it's... Okay, well...
What else were you going to say?
Well, I don't know if I wanted to say what your birthday is.
Oh, yeah, you can say when my birthday is. It's Earth Day. It's April 22nd.
On the tree, and so it's all the things go together there.
Yeah, it's kind of like all connected. So I was like, this is crazy. I was like, I'm definitely going to name this guitar Dragon Fang, because that was the lady, Sif, whatever her name is, Sif, whatever you call her, that was her sword's name. So I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to name it that. And then, whatchamacallit, my second guitar, the Honeyweed, the Telecaster, that was called Isabel, because one night I was like, somebody gave me something, I don't know, but one night I was playing my other guitar, and I was really into my other guitar, and I was just saying to myself, to the grand architect, to God, or whatever, I was like, just let me play this instrument, like, and I'll dedicate like my music to you. So it's like I wanted a new guitar, and then I was like, what am I gonna name it? And then I was looking at girls' names, and it said like Isabel meant like devoted to God, and I was like, that's my guitar's name. So that's what I named it.
That's cool. Specific instrument stories. I'm gonna see. Hold on. So this guitar, the red one that I put on my arm, I've had that one since I got that with my bar mitzvah money, actually. So I've had that for a long time. Its name is Stacy. I don't know why. One time, like, where the hell was I? I was in college, and I was hanging out with someone. They were like, you play guitar? And I'm like, yeah, look at my guitar. And they're like, do you have a name for it? And I just, like, looked at it, and, like, right in that moment, I was like, Stacy. I don't know why, but ever since then, it's just been Stacy. My bass is Betty. I decided that it was going to be Betty before I even knew what bass I was buying. There was a sale at Guitar Center, and I woke up one day, I was like, I'm gonna buy a bass, and it's gonna be Betty, and it's gonna be Betty my bass. And then it just happened to be this bass. So that worked out pretty well. This guitar, I don't have a name for it yet, but I might make a poll on the Patreon for you guys to help me decide what to name it, because I've been going back and forth for like 3 years now trying to get a name for that one, and nothing has really stuck yet. And so we actually really like naming our stuff. When we first met up, we went to Guitar Center just to get like a little keyboard like this, and we decided to name it Simba, because I used to hold it in front of the crowd like this. I'd be like, everybody makes a noise for Simba, and then they would be like, yeah. So that's Simba. This microphone that we use for all of our videos is named Dennis. Is there anything I'm missing?
No, we were toying with the name Luther for that big keyboard, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much all the instrument stories.
Right.
I haven't ever really had anyone sign anything of my stuff, but I did get, one time my dad went to some like charity concert that Brian Johnson from AC/DC was at, and he got a signed ticket. But that's pretty much the closest thing I got to that. Okay, so Robert D. Hassinger wants to know, what was your favorite or favorites of live concert experiences? Who, when, and why?
Oh my gosh. Man, oh man. I haven't been to a big concert in a long time. I go to like little festivals where they play like jazz and it's just like small acts. I went to this big festival in Randall's Island for the Black Keys. That was cool. That was really cool. Before that, what I actually paid money and was like, I'm going. It was Bjork, and she was at Irving Plaza in Manhattan, and this is like for her Chrysalis album. So this is like probably like 2016 before that. So I was like, I'm going, because to me, that's a star. First of all, she can shop in Best Buy and no one will bother her. And that's a fact. We've seen her in Rockland County. And she's another one who falls under the Frank Zappa kind of Tame Impala category, where it's like you turn the back of the album and it's just like vocals, Bjork, strings, Bjork, drums, Bjork, everything is
Stevie.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Stevie Wonder as well. So I absolutely love her. She's another one of my influences too. Like when I first heard her voice, I was like, I gotta do this. So yeah, that's my favorite. I've been to other ones when I was young, like little rap concerts, but those are the shows are so small, you know, when these artists are just getting big, and that's just kid shit. Like, you know.
Well, the first concert I ever went to was Roger Waters from Pink Floyd. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I was like 11. I don't remember it too well, but I guess I would have to say that just because that's kind of a big deal, right? But besides that, probably Kid Cudi, because I had been waiting, like, it felt like my whole life to see him when I finally saw him. And then Tame Impala. I saw Tame Impala at Madison Square Garden like 2 years ago. That was the best show I've ever seen. It was crazy because, like,
cool.
Not only was it my first time at MSG, but it was also his first time at MSG.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
He said when he came out, he was like, yeah, this is the first time I've ever been to Madison Square Garden in my life, and we sold it out.
Woohoo!
And I was like, that's sick. Like, that's pretty cool. I'm not even gonna lie.
That is sick.
But I just really love that show because, you know, the studio recordings of Tame Impala sound so good, and when I saw them live, it sounded exactly like that.
Okay.
It sounded exactly like the recordings, which I didn't know how they were going to pull off, but they did. And then, not only that, but the visual aspect of the show was, like, just as impressive as the music. Like, they had, like, all the lights, and, like, the trippy videos were all, like, synced up exactly with specific, like, points of every song. And, like, the whole concert was just amazing. I was sitting there, I had my weed pen, I had, like, a $15 MSG beer. You know what I mean? And I was just in the zone for that whole concert.
That is awesome. I want to throw in a rapper, too, because we're about rock and rap, and I totally forgot this. We saw Nas at Radio City Music Hall.
Nice.
And that's worth mentioning because that's a effing come up. You know what I'm saying? He's a kid from the projects in New York, in Queens. And it's like, if there were any rapper that I could pick, you know, out of like the whole golden age of rap, which they said was the 90s, if there were any rapper that deserved to actually make it to Radio City, like a la Frank Sinatra, New York type of singing, like it would be Nas, because he wasn't a gangster rapper. He really was for like intellectualism or whatever. And that was like a New Year's Eve concert. So it's like you were actually like sitting down listening to him rap, and he had on a tuxedo, and it's just like, wow,
it was classy.
What a comic. Yeah, what a come up, not a whatever I said, comic. What a come up for somebody like that. So that was cool.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it for, I guess, our favorite concert experiences.
Yeah, you saw who on New Year's? You told me that one was sick.
Oh
too.
yeah, I saw the Strokes on New Year's. Going into 2020, and it's funny because I remember like it was a late show, so like it became New Year's like in the middle of a show, and they stopped the show to like put up the Times Square, whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, oh my God, it's a new decade. 2020 is going to be so great. I can't wait to see what happens. And, like, I remember thinking that vividly. And then, you know, like 2 months later, it was like, fuck you and everybody else. Nothing good is happening this year. So it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Michael Keefe wants to know, will I bump into you guys next time I'm in Greenpoint?
Possibly. I don't walk that far deep, but yeah, why not?
I'm gonna say probably not, just because I'm never in Greenpoint.
Yeah.
And neither of us really live
Up
by
there.
Greenpoint.
Yeah.
But I like Greenpoint.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go hang out. Maybe I'll see you around. I guess. Greenpoint's pretty cool.
Shout out to Greenpoint.
If y'all don't know, Greenpoint's a neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Michael, are you from the city? What are you doing in Greenpoint, buddy?
I guess so. I guess that's what he's saying. Like, I guess so.
That's, I think, all of the questions. So again, like we were saying before, just big thanks to all of you for the support. It's really a dream come true that you guys are like supporting us and people actually care about what we're doing. So we really just can't even say how much we appreciate you guys. So we hope that you enjoyed this video. We hope that you feel like you know a little bit more about us now. And we're just gonna keep on doing what we're doing. So thanks for coming along for the ride.